then go through. With your permission, Honorable Speaker, multi-agency, in regard to this question, I wish to respond as follows. A multi-agency working group consisting of representatives from the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing, and Urban Development was put up. The Ministry of Education and National Lands Commission, among others, were gazetted in 2018 via Gazette Notice number 12311 to fast-track the titling of public schools. The multi-agency working group spearheaded the audit of titling status for all public schools in Kenya in 2019. According to the multi-agency working group report, Kenya has over 31,000 public schools, out of which we have 5,226 public schools which have been issued with titles, while 5,799 have reservations in the registers. The summary of the status report on the issuance of title deeds for all public schools nationwide is as shown in Table 1. I don't know whether, Honorable Speaker, I need to go through Table 1, but I think if members have a copy of my response, I could get your directions.
Madam, usually the reports, the responses are uploaded on the system. Maybe the clerk can confirm whether that has been done for this. It is? Yes. So, Senator Chuta, you must know how to use your the pen before you. So you first go at, so you don't need to go through this.
Yes, the list of the titled schools per county, Honorable Speaker, 1 to 47, on page 2 and page 3 of my report. It should therefore be noted that, and have given the total numbers of what we have titled and where we are supposed to be at. I've said, Honorable Speaker, that we have 31,000 schools and only 5,226 public schools have titles. That means, Honorable Speaker, we have a long way to go. It should be noted that this list is not conclusive. I think this is what I was able to get. They are yet to verify in full details, but it won't go very far from what page 3 is showing there as the totals, with a reservation of 5,799. And Honorable Speaker, in Kirinyaga County, this has 335 public schools. As at 2019, the audit report by the multi-agency group revealed that the county has 180 public primary schools and 155 public secondary schools. 78 schools have been titled, and 157 are reservations for titling, while 257 are yet to be titled. Table 2 and 3 shows the primary and the secondary schools issued with titles. When I say reservations or reserved for public use as public schools, it means the National Land Commission has already reserved that and Gazette notice being issued thereafter. The primary schools titled, as shown, Honorable Speaker, I would then say on page 4, the list is there of the total number of schools in Kirinyaga. All the constituencies are listed, constituency by constituency. And then for primary schools, then the secondary schools on page 5, Honorable Speaker, as shown there, all the way to page 6. And then the list of schools whose land had issues. Issues means maybe pending court cases, as shown on page 6, paragraph 2, Honorable Speaker. We have Gogoine Secondary School in Kirinyaga has pending case number 34 of 2016. And then Kiarogo Primary School, Kirinyaga, has a boundary dispute. We will endeavor. And then also Kwango Due Primary School, boundary disputes. These are things we can do within the ambit of my ministry. I will undertake to look at that. Maybe the pending cases, also we can see whether there can be a resolution. And I believe the Honorable Senator who brought this question would be aware of this and could be of great assistance in the resolution of the case. Honorable Speaker, allow me to proceed to then question number 2.
The second part of the Senator's question, part 2.
Yes, part 2.
Part B, actually, all 2, part 2.
I wish to respond as follows. The titling of public land has been going on over the years. However, the progress has been slow, uncoordinated, and without guidelines. In addition, the process of identification, mapping, planning, documentation, allocation, registration of public land is a multi-sectoral action or activity, and we will endeavor to do our work. A raft of measures has been taken to fast-track the school's titling program. Measures taken include public utilities program that was put up, and the team has been constituted with a representative from the State Department of Lands and Fiscal Planning, National Arts Commission, National Treasury, Ministry of Education, and Council of Governors. The reason the Treasury is the one that holds titles on behalf of the entire government. So National Treasury is a key stakeholder there. Preparation of procedure manual on titling of public utilities land has been done. The draft procedure manual has been prepared and is currently going review by the stakeholders, and I want to confirm that we will be finalizing that exercise soon. A pilot program is scheduled thereafter, was scheduled within the year 2023 and 2024, the financial year, and the counties selected for that pilot program, Honorable Speaker, is Kirinyaga and Busia. A letter requesting for an update status report on all public learning institutions in the 2 counties has been sent also to the Ministry of Education so that we can put the work together or the report together, and the status report to assist the public utilities program team plan and execute the titling of all the remaining schools within the 2 counties as a pilot. Why is it necessary, Honorable Speaker? Because we want to use the process that is proven, and also for consistent purposes, Honorable Speaker, it helps the teams on the ground to be able to do that exercise. That's where we are with the titling. I agree it is slow, Honorable Speaker, and we need to expedite the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable CS. Senator Bugwa, I don't know whether you have a supplementary question.
With your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, yes. I want to donate my chance to the Honorable Senator of Nyeri towards the...
You have no such power to do that. It's either you have the supplementary or not. I do leave it at that. So, I can see the Senator for Nyeri, who have donated, has not even requested. Yes, Senator Matinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this chance. Let me start by thanking the Honorable CS for her punctuality and well explanation of the questions that were raised by Senator for Kirinyaga. Nyeri and Kirinyaga being bordering counties, Mr. Speaker, we share equally the same challenges. My question would be to the Honorable CS. Primary schools have been titled. Whereas the land was donated by the same community, the churches have been left behind. So could be the CS maybe tell us why the churches which are adjacent to school as sponsors of the schools have not been issued with the titles while the schools that the sponsor have been issued. The last question, Mr. Speaker, is could the Honorable CS explain to us why the colonial villages, which are rampant, especially in Nyeri County, have not been issued with the titles despite the directive from the previous regime and the current regime. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS and Honorable Senators, you are entitled only one supplementary question related to the original question asked by the Senator. Yeah, so kindly respond to that, Honorable CS.
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Honorable Senator for Nyeri for that supplementary question. Although I don't know whether the colonial village is a supplementary question because it goes outside the parameter of the question raised by the Senator for Kirinyaga on churches. Churches are, in my view, they are independent institutions. They don't fall under national government. Once land is allocated to you as a church, then it is the responsibility of the church to take up the processing of the title. And you realize that it is quite a huge a task and therefore a huge budget, and we wouldn't do it we don't have a budget to do titles for churches. It's for the churches to take up, and where we need to facilitate them in our registries, we will facilitate in terms of documentation. Then on the colonial villages, I have already asked for a report on my desk for all the colonial villages, especially in Nyandarua and Nyeri, and I will be giving directions in terms of how to start the exercise of titling. I think there are more than 300 colonial villages in both counties, and I can assure you I will work on those. I've taken it up already, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Manzo Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, now that we are talking of land which has not been alienated or status is not known, could the minister, who we have a long history with and is an outstanding lawyer, update us as to the status of the land against Konza City? There are titles which have been pending for quite a while of Aimi Makilungu Ranji Farm.
Honorable Senators, you know I give guidance that the questions or supplementary questions should be in line with the original question, so that now the CS, our mind is on the schools tightly. But if we ask other questions which might not get answers now, then it's a big problem. So let us, as much as possible, stick to the original question. Honorable CS.
I would, thank you, Honorable Speaker. It is not possible for me to give the Honorable Daniel Manzo, the Senator for Makueni, an answer now on the question he has raised, but we can raise and I can give him an answer maybe at another either sitting or preferably directly. He can contact me and we'll give him the necessary response as an office. Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay, Senator Manzo. Anytime you can get the CS. Senator Chute Mohamed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me take this opportunity to thank the Cabinet Secretary and her team, both the PS and the Secretary, for the passage of the Affordable Housing Bill, which I earlier said it was a scam. But I withdraw that word now and say it was a very good job, well done job. We've passed 42, we amended 42 amendments, and congratulations to this House also. Let me go straight to page 3. I would want the Cabinet Secretary to tell this House, number 25 is Marsabit County. Out of 185 schools, only 4 schools has a title deed. And 2 other you've indicated as reservations. Can the Cabinet Secretary tell us what reservation is and why out of 185 schools, only 4 has a title deed. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable CS.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. To answer the Senator, I want to say that Marsabit is one of the counties that adjudication has not been completed. In fact, the titling of schools will be part of the adjudication process, and therefore I think that is when we'll be able to respond or to give you a complete answer regarding the schools in Marsabit. And of course, this particular time, I think we'll be more careful so that even as we do the adjudication, then we complete the titling for the schools. Thank you.
Senator Dulo Fatuma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank CS for comprehensive response to the queries raised. Now, I want to comment on Isiolo, where we have 146 schools. There is only one with a title. And of course, you have explained what reservation is. So I want to know whether the processing of the titles is done by the schools or it's the government directly that actually initiates the process of issuing titles to those schools. Mr. Speaker, if you can allow me a rider to that, the issues of encroachment on most of the government schools by private individuals, what is the government doing about it? I thank you.
Yes.
Isiolo is undergoing community land titling. Majority of land in the Isiolo will be under community land. It's one of the very difficult counties, and the Honorable Madam Senator is one of the leaders in that county, Honorable Speaker, and would do us very good by bringing communities together. We are ready to do titling. We have funding for titling, but I can tell you there are many issues arising when we start doing community titling, Honorable Speaker, including disagreement on names, disagreement on boundaries, but I want to assure her that we are working on community titling. And as I had responded earlier to Honorable Senator for Marsabit, titling this time, when we complete the titling, we'll also do the title for the rest of the land. We will also complete the titling for the public schools. In terms of encroachment, may I maybe take the opportunity, standing on this floor of the Senate, Honorable Speaker, with your permission, to say that any encroachment is an illegality, must be stopped both by the people occupying the land, the public, our enforcement, law enforcement officers, elected leaders have a role to play, and of course, Honorable Speaker, my office will, when issuing titles, which is not just producing the title as per, we will go back, we normally have to go back with a surveyor to establish the beacons. Once the beacons are established, including elaborate mapping and survey, then we are able to do titling. That's why you can see the process is a bit slow, but also we need more funding for this particular activity. The titling started in 2019 for all schools. I mean, the direction was given by the head of state then. Thank you.
Thank you, CS. Honourable members,
Thank you.
Honourable senators, you know our standing orders has allocated 20 minutes per each question. The CS has 3 questions. You also have another CS for energy who is also appearing this morning. So I want to give maybe 2 more supplementaries. Senator Boni Karwale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to congratulate the minister. It's long since we last met Madam CS. I'm truly impressed with the professional manner in which you go around discharging as a cabinet secretary. It's something the government really needs. Mr. Speaker, having said this, I recall CS when I was Member of Parliament in Ekolomani, and I believe this applies to other members of Parliament in office today, I opened 7 new secondary schools and 16 new primary schools for which I bought land and built. And the challenge we have had, Madam Minister, is that some of the plots that we acquired require succession. And because it is public land becoming, private land becoming public land, the people who received the money from us are not willing to come to court so as to assist us in the normal transfer. Is there affirmative action, a directive that the ministry can give to help such a school so that they can be assisted in titling Madam CS?
Madam CS.
Yeah, thank you. To the Honorable Senator Harware, Kakamega Senator, Honorable Speaker, I think that is a succession dispute or issue, not necessarily a dispute, but a succession process that has to go through the court. I think the best way is to possibly collect the necessary information, the schools, names that have those challenges in your county, and then the owners of the land. If the cases are in court, we can have the details of the court cases by way of a letter and all necessary details appertaining to those school titlings. And I will be able, I have, of course, a litigation counsel in my office. They will be able to liaise with the Attorney General and the Office of the Public Trustee. And I'm sure we can it will take a bit of time, but it is doable. Sometimes it just requires to call the family that has either donated the land or that has sold the land and sit with them, and then you find a solution. I am willing to take up that exercise if I'm given the necessary information. We can liaise with you, Honorable Senator.
Thank you. Last one by Senator Kavidu Agnes. No, Honorable Senators, let me give further guidance because the CS has 2 more questions. To make progress, we can go to the next question, and then I will request the CS to, even if the question can come on titling of the public schools, still she will be able to handle that. So to make progress, let's get the last one from Senator Agnes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I first of all want to congratulate Madam CS for the good work that she's doing. But at the same time, I have complaints about Machakos, the registrar office, for issuing title deeds. They are having a lot of delays there, and we only have that registrar in Machakos sub-county. And as far as Masinga, they travel all the way to come to Machakos to come and get their title deeds, even Yatta and everywhere else in Machakos. And whenever they go there, they are told to come back tomorrow. They can go there, stay the whole day. Nobody is telling them anything. I went down doing my public participation on oversight, and some of my citizens were complaining that whenever they go there, there's a registry book. They are told to pay 10,000 shillings, and they are not issued with a receipt, and they are told to come back, and they never see this money. They never get their title deeds. Madam CS, can you kindly explain what is happening in the registrar office, in the lands registrar office, for issuing title deeds in Machakos? Thank you.
Madam CS.
And if also you have a plan of distributing some other offices in those other sub-counties. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Senator for Machakos, Senator Kavindu. First, my registrar in Machakos is Dorothy Reting, and Dorothy has other 4 registrars. So in terms of number of registrars, we do have some sufficient number considering the total numbers that I have. Secondly, we have noted the workload in Machakos County is huge, And we have gazetted new registration units, registries, that is Mavoko and Kitimani. I will be having a minimum of a registrar for each for a start, and I hope to be able to post 2 registrars for the 2 registration registries. And I think that would answer to some of the delays that have been occasioned. In terms of, you talked of some integrity issues, maybe that is for me corruption, but I'll pick it up with the registrar in charge. There is no reason why people should come 3-4 times to look for their titles. They need to, we have already given instructions that they must work with timelines so that once you come once, you make your application, you allow time to register, and then just come second time is to collect your title, unless the records are not there. But I know that these answers will be answered finally through digitization process that we have already taken up, and we'll be hoping that we can complete the exercise nationally in the next 2 years.
Thank you, Honorable CS. Honorable Senators, now let's go to question number 018 by the Senator for Nairobi County, Honorable Edwin Sifuna. I understand it's 017. We danced in Senator Sifuna towards his question first. 018.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted the CS for Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development to answer the following 3 questions, Mr. Speaker. Number 1, who holds the title deed for the parcel of land on which the Tomboya Social Hall in Makadara constituency, Nairobi City County stands? And could the Cabinet Secretary indicate the ownership history of the said parcel of land? B, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the circumstances under which the parcel of land came into the custody or possession of a private developer who has already commenced construction works on a mall? Number C, what measures has the ministry put in place to reclaim public land, including this land in Makadara that has been illegally acquired or encroached upon, as well as generally forestall land grabbing in the city of Nairobi? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Madam CS.
In response to the Honorable Senator for Nairobi County, Senator Sifuna, Honorable Senator Edwin Sifuna, he wants to know what is the fate of Tomboya Social Hall. Honorable Speaker, I have given an answer in response, which is written. Tomboya Memorial Hall sits on plot number block number 79/782. Formerly, the number I have given there, LR number 209/11046. The plot was reserved to the Ministry of Public Works, that is my ministry, for development of a community hall on June 26, 1957, through an order of the governor then. The plot was leased to KANU, Kenya African National Union Party, for 3 years from 1967 on condition that the party pays rent of shillings 1. The land remains government land and the party remains, that's the condition, that the land was to remain still owned by the Public Works, and then the party responsible for maintenance of the building is the KANU party during that terms of the lease for those 3 years. KANU then thereafter applied for allocation of the plot in 1985. A letter of allotment was issued in favor of the party on 12th April 1985 for a term of 99 years. With effect from March 1985, the user of the plot was Social Hall still, and offices. Annexure that we have given an annexure of that detail, and then thereafter, KANU did not pay the statutory fees indicated in the allotment letter of 10th of April 2018. The offer had since lapsed, and I have given also supporting annexure there, number 3. A lease for Nairobi Block 79/782, measuring 0.403 hectares, that is about 1 acre of land, at peppercorn rent was prepared in favor of KANU and registered on April 25th, or 25th April 2018. I've given details in support. Honorable Speaker, on 22nd of February 2021, the parcel was then transferred to GAMI. Was transferred to GAMI Limited, GAMI Properties Limited. Give me CR2. Yes, to GAMI Properties Limited. I have also given supporting document to support that. The parcel, having been registered as a social hall, should remain as such. Honorable Speaker, that is the status of that parcel. It's a public land. Honorable Senator for Nairobi, I want to confirm, standing on this floor, that GAMI Properties Limited got an irregular allocation, and I will proceed to cancel that title. It is going to remain public property. Yeah. And maybe that's, I will leave a copy of the CR12 to show the individuals that own GAMI Properties Limited. My office obviously misbehaved by allowing this, but that was done jointly with the National Land Commission. We will work together using Section 79 of the land legislation. Now, thank you.
Honorable CS, I thought you just handle the 3 parts, A, B, and C, and then the rest of the question can maybe.
He had enforcing strict penalties, digitization.
Well, I think you have answered that. You have.
I think I
summarized everything.
I had said, yes, I had said that we are working on digitization. We'll need support of Parliament through budget. We have already finished Nairobi. We are doing Murang'a and Isiolo for digitization. All the scanning in Murang'a and Isiolo is almost done, and we'll be going live in those 2 other counties soon. So this progress will be expected, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable CS. With the way Senator Sifuna is happy, I don't think he has a supplementary question. He has already confirmed. Okay, Senator Sifuna.
Mr. Speaker, I was a bit worried when I was reading the written response from the CS, because it did not have the last bit there, which is the most critical bit for the people of Nairobi, on the action to be taken. I am more than happy to confirm or to hear from her that she's going to cancel the allocation, because the offer to KANU had lapsed, so they had no title to transfer. They did not, in fact, deserve to be given that title, and there was nothing to transfer to GAMI Properties. I am also happy that she has told the nation that she's going to provide the ownership details of GAMI Properties Limited. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the only thing I want the CS to confirm to me is the timeline when we can expect cancellation of that particular title, reversion back to the people of Nairobi of the property, and the reconstruction of Tomboya Social Hall. Mr. Speaker, because as we speak today, construction on that property is still ongoing. They are building a mall. So, Mr. Speaker, the timelines of those actions, if the CS, who has already made my day, can just add the topping to the cake, I will be very happy for the people of Nairobi to hear when we can expect this time, this action to be taken. And Mr. Speaker, continue to protect us from hecklers in this house, because we are discussing serious issues here. about people who we represent, and people are heckling here.
Senator Sifuna, you are doing so. Senator Gloria, must you always make noise in this house, honestly speaking? No, it's not in order, honestly. I heard the CS say that she's intended to give, we wanted to table a document.
Oh, I think this is online actually, CR12, to show the owners of Ngami. This was, Honorable Speaker, I came yesterday back to the country, but I ordered for that and it is available. Those are the current directors of Ngami Properties Limited.
Yeah, the supplementary question maybe. Like
I think he wanted to know the timeline.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, under Section 79 of the Land Registration Act. I think I will need the notice. The process that we undertake is when we realize that irregularity has been committed, either or a mistake by our registry, we need to issue a notice to the holders of that title, and that notice is supposed to take it's a notice of 60 days. So I will take up the process immediately. So you can expect that then the notice is to call the person, the holder of the title, to return the title, failing which then we proceed to cancel it. In most cases, when they know it was an untoward activity, normally they do not present themselves, because you present yourself and the title for cancellation, or at least for interrogation. Once you don't come, we proceed to cancel. So it should not take me more than 60 days to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Let us get a few supplementary questions. Start from Senator Rachel Julius.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I would like to know from the Minister, there is a piece of land which was given by Pokot County Council to KVDA around 1986 or 83, and it is a dam today which is generating power. And so to mark the end of the occupied land, or the land that is today under a dam, they put beacons, which marked the end that Wananchi would develop up to there or leave up to there. But now, maliciously, some MPs are grouping against KVDA and saying that they sold the land off to some unknown personalities, but the accusation is so high on the ground. So I was wondering if the minister is aware, and what does she say, so that as an answer to those who are accusing KVDA or some leaders of selling the land that today is a dam producing or generating power to Kenya at large.
Senators, as I guided, as much as practically possible, let us just direct our question towards the original question. The CS can attempt to answer, but such details might be a bit difficult to get. So, Madam CS.
Thank you for the direction, Honorable Speaker. It's true that I'm not able to respond to that because it has not been brought to my notice area, but KVDA is actually an agency or parastatal under the Ministry of East Africa Community, Regional Development, and ASALS. And they would have the details of that particular problem. But Honorable Senator can also write to me, and maybe, or to myself and the Minister for East Africa Region, and give us these details, and then we can try to help and resolve the problem. I don't know whether it's a problem where the dam has gone encroached. You know, sometimes dams exceed the area of the design, therefore a redesign may be necessary. It could be a case where maybe compensation is not complete, or a case where people are trying to use the dam to get the land or use the land that has already been purchased around the dam. I think I will leave it to you, but you can write to the two ministries for better responses. Overall, Your Honorable Speaker, I was asked about recovery of other public lands. Honorable Speaker, let me say that we are in the process of discussing with the Office of the President through hopes, and we intend to move the cabinet for a resolution to allow the minister to request for all ministries to forward their public lands that are in danger or have been encroached or have been grabbed, so that holistically I can address all of them, because it's not possible for the Minister of Lands to know which land has been encroached or has been grabbed. But I think it is, as a government, we have a duty. As a ministry, I have a responsibility to assist the government to protect and recover and document public land existing and what may have been taken away, and recover as much as we can, including prosecution of people who have been found to have stolen public land. Obviously, you see, even the Minister for Lands is not safe, because this particular parcel that Tomboya Socio is on belongs to the Ministry of Public Works. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, when I went to Kwale, to Kitare, I want to confirm that Kitare prison, is it the medium or maximum, is sitting on an individual's parcel of land. So I'm also proceeding to cancel those, because the prisons itself is sitting on land that has been grabbed, over 3,000 parcels of land. So it is not an easy matter. We have to do what is right, and the support of Parliament, including these kind of questions, is helpful. Thank you.
Senator Mandago, you are on the queue at the top. Maybe you can ask your question. But I don't know, you have a problem with that box. It's possible.
Maybe the clerks can assist me with my card. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I have, I don't know whether it's a question or a suggestion to the Cabinet Secretary. On this digitization, Honorable Speaker, I'd like to ask the Cabinet Secretary, what happens with lands that there are disputes during digitization process? And I ask that because, Honorable Speaker, there is a land in question in Uasin Gishu County between the people of Uasin Gishu, the county government of Uasin Gishu, and the Department of Defense. But during digitization, you know, a title that was fraudulently acquired was also digitized. So my request to the Honorable CS is, during digitization, I think all lands under dispute should not be digitized, because digitizing is further giving legitimacy, you know, to the fraudulently acquired titles. Number two, Honorable Speaker, the CS has said she's constrained in terms of budget for titling of schools. Honorable Speaker, it is my view that now that schools receive even capitation for operations, and it only costs a maximum of 20,000 to actually get a title deed, schools should actually be asked to process their own titles. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS.
Did I hear the Senator is proposing that we ask the schools to process their own titles? I think then that would require me to move back to the Cabinet to have the Cabinet resolve to do that. I don't see a big problem in the government. The schools are properties of the government, actually. The land is not necessarily in the name of school. It's reserved for that school, but the titles belong to the National Treasury, and they are registered in the name of National Treasury. So I think for us to assist to proceed to do that is important. And you also know that that is the only way we can be able to assure the validity, the sizes, the survey integrity, and therefore I think it's not a bad thing that the ministry is the one that is finally doing it. You can imagine this is since 1960, this has not been done, so I think we will not be able to live to the schools. Again, some of the people around the schools are the ones who have grabbed some of the school land. In that process, we'll be able to return any grabbed land. On the question on digitization, what happens to parcels that may be having disputes or have titles or records that are in dispute or are under interrogation and investigation? First, we capture the records that we have. But capturing the records we have by scanning and putting them in as part of our digitization does not mean we will be hindered from interrogating those documentations. But also the KDF land, I think you are referring to the KDF land. We have cancelled all those titles, so we don't longer have any problem. But where we have captured the wrong or disputed land, maybe it is in court, and then we get the new record of the country. These parcels were submitted by the ministries, individual ministries, counties, departments.
Sorry, Madam CS.
Yes.
Because this, I can see your response is quite long,
Yes.
and very elaborate. So I wanted to get from the honorable member whether he has been able to go through this response so that we can save some time.
Thank you,
And
Honorable.
if you have, which
Yes.
specific section do you feel that you need?
Then I can be directed to that. Yes.
That
Thank you.
particular part. Of
Thank you,
response.
Honorable Speaker. I'm satisfied
Because
with
let me finish.
the answers.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Because the way you have really appreciated and you also said you are now on board. It's like this question was before. You asked this question before, now you came on board with that act.
Honorable Speaker, I've gone through the answers, and I'm happy and comfortable with the answers, but I have supplementary questions.
You have no, yeah, good. Then if there is any other member on affordable housing, like Senator, first to inquire to Senator Mohamed Faki, you said you have no supplementary questions.
I have supplementary questions.
Oh, okay. Just ask your supplementary questions so that it can be specific.
Thank you.
Minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Article 43(1)(b) is very clear on the issue of settling people. And I wanted the Cabinet Secretary to note that we had former Buxton tenants who in fact brought a petition to this House. And I am in the Committee of Housing, Roads and Housing, and we decided and agreed that these people should be resettled, 184 in number, to be given the first priority to be resettled in Buxton Estate. I would want the Cabinet Secretary to tell us if these people are going to be settled, when they are going to be settled, and if she can give an appointment through this House for those people to come and sit with her and finalize this matter. The other issue I have is on rural housing. The Cabinet Secretary is aware that we've passed the amended law has the issue component of rural housing. I want to know in her regulations what is she going to do for those people who cannot afford urban housing, who want to settle in Marsabit, Isiolo, Wajir, and all those places. How is she going to cater for those people that can be settled in those areas? Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam CS, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Senator has been following on the issue of the tenants that had occupied the land in the Buxton project in Mombasa. They are 184, according to the Honorable Senator. If these people have leadership, because I don't want to confirm that you can bring 184 people into my office, but if they have leadership, then the leadership can actually visit me, or you wait when I go to Mombasa, because maybe I can plan better go to Mombasa and we deal it at that level instead of them coming all the way to Nairobi. So then we can see what issues are still remaining. But in the meantime, those issues can be documented and forwarded to me through your office, Honorable Senator, or through the leadership. I suppose these people have some leadership. Through their leadership, they can document the issues, send to me, and then looking at the issues, then I'll be able to make a decision to either visit, go to Mombasa, and we have a meeting there in Mombasa. On the question of rural, how
the proposed units, which is actually under construction already, is Wajir. I was seeing some houses under construction in Wajir Township. So may I know how many units is being built in Wajir Township? How many floors will those houses go? Because Wajir has actually many challenges in terms of, the solid structure and sanitation problems and sewage. Because of the high level of water, Wajir is still experiencing sewage problems. So I don't know whether the project has considered all those factors which has been undertaken now. Because sewage problem, Wajir has no sewage. It has sewage problems, it has water problem, and the solid structure actually is sandy. And if you will be building, houses with high-rise houses, you might experience some challenges. So I wanted to know how many there are, what is actually the height of this, how many floors, and whether you have taken care of any consideration of the sewage systems and all these things that do not exist in Wajir now.
So I want to know from the CS whether that's a question you can answer now, or maybe you provide the answer later to the Honorable Senator.
The Wajir, we have 220 units that are coming up, 220 units of different categories. The original design is for social, affordable, and a few market units, and therefore that one is on course. Let me say that for purposes of this House, that we shall have county projects at county level, but we shall also have constituency level projects. This Wajir is one of the constituency level. I say constituency because we are also using constituency as a unit to ensure equitable distribution of this project, because for us, they mean a lot. For the people of Kenya, they mean a lot because they mean employment, they mean economic sparring, and they mean a lot of economic activities around the projects, including employing the youths. Single project like this one will have between 300 and 400 youths, not forgetting the other issues that arise, people working, the shops around, receive this money, it's not a bad project. So every constituency will have, and we will endeavor to do that in the course of our term, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Senator Derito John. Can you? 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For me, I want to congratulate the minister and to ask her, apart from the regulations that were mentioned by Chute concerning the rural affordable housing, for that to be very effective, Mr. Speaker, we need to ensure that we provide land ownership documents to the owners of the land. I just wanted to know what is she doing, and especially to the people living in the slums, because they're the people who need even those homes more than the other people. Mr. Speaker, you come to places like Laikipia, you go to a village called Maina Village, they don't have title deeds. You go to a place like Rikie, Majengo, they don't have their title deeds. Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to know, apart from those villages in Laikipia, what's she doing concerning the land ownership for especially those people living in the villages and in rural areas, Mr. Speaker? Thank you.
Madam CS.
When you say villages, Honorable Senator, if you mean colonial villages, I had already answered that question and said that during my tenure, I'm going to finish titling for all the colonial villages. Now, villages like...
We believe it is a wastage of public resources. Number two, Mr. Speaker, can the CS confirm whether there are agreements that have been signed by this, between the ministry and these residents that will guarantee them what the ministry is saying in these notices. Because, Mr. Speaker, this was the same story in Buxton that the residents were told. When the houses were built, it became another story. And because we said we don't want another Buxton, I want the CS to assure me as the Senator of Nairobi that agreements have been signed with the current residents of these estates that they will actually be given first priority when the units are rebuilt. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. That's the last supplementary question for the to the CS lands. So summarize that question, the two questions from the two senators. Then we call it Andy.
I think the questions are basically the same. The two questions regarding Shaurimoyo, Botera, the various estates that we gave along Jogoo Road, that we gave notices for people to vacate. We have had, we have been, because we also listen, as a government, as a ministry, we listen. And I know this question was raised by Honorable Senator for Nairobi when I appeared before them, before the passing of the housing levy bill. I believe he's now on board. If he's not, I'm sure he'll soon be on board. I hope he'll be on board because this housing program is a useful project for the people of Kenya. I want to say that for the Botera, Shaurimoyo, we are coming up with various projects there because the land is a lot and the number of people using those houses. And those houses, you agree with me, Honorable Senator, Honorable Members, through the Speaker, that they are houses that do not hold a total of maybe 3,000 or 2,000 people. But when you look at the entire land and what we can do with affordable housing, I think it would be in putting the land into better use because we also, as a ministry, manage the land, and the land use is under my docket. Therefore, we have agreed this Monday and also last week, my teams from the ministry, Department of Housing, visited these places and there is an agreement. I have been advised that the residents are now in agreement and we are extending the notice to October, November, depending on where October, November, and we have also agreed that we shall give them relocation, we shall facilitate relocation as people affected by the project. It's a small amount of money, and I believe His Excellency has expressed himself on that. As a ministry, we do provide some little amount of money for relocation. You can pay your rent, depending on the agreement in each particular place. Between 6 months and 1 year, we are able to provide the rent for similar, or at least noting that many of them are even paying rent where they are, and they are able to tell us how much rent they are paying. So we give that for 6 months, and there is an agreement, and the notice will be extended, and it will be in writing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think I've answered the entire question.
Yes. So that is the end of the question and answer session from the CS Lands and Housing. So thank you very much, Madam CS, for your very elaborate answers. And the member who is happy today is the Senator for Nairobi. He's a very happy man because of all his issues have been addressed professionally. So thank you very much for your time. Welcome back to the Senate any other time that we request you to avail.
Thank you again for that question. There is a current procurement process going on for significant number